here's the one thing I don't want you guys to expect from yourselves. I definitely don't expect it from you. Hearing this information once will probably not stick in your memory because there's so much of it. But the best way to help yourself while listening to this information tonight is to, hopefully you've already decided an area of your life that you really want to work on first. There can be multiple areas, but pick an area you want to work on first. And as we go over that energy center, make some notes about thoughts or feelings that you get while we're having the meeting. Anything that comes to you, ideas, if you want to move something around. Because a lot of tonight is really like fact reading. I could give some stories, but I wanted to get through some of the information first, that at our Q&A, you guys have plenty of information to ask questions on if we weren't clear on something, because it is just a lot of information that you could read from a book, a website, probably a Pinterest pin somewhere. So getting a chance to ask questions about utilizing the tools or how to do stuff is, I feel like, the more important part of it. So we do have some hefty notes tonight, and I am going to try my hardest to read from the paper. And you guys know that's hard for me. I usually just riff. It's very hard for me to read from the paper.
Yeah, you know, I can read, but we'll share the responsibilities.
Yeah. So, I mean, so it's 7:35. We're going to go ahead and start really quick.
Yeah, we're going to start.
We have a nice small group, which means like you could all like get to just talk at the end of this, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
So the first thing that I want you to think about when we consider energy centers in our home is that last week we shared the way that the ancients sort of did this. They would see a place where energy could flow freely, which really just meant that wind and water moved through a space with grace. And that's the best way to describe it. Like, it wasn't hitting up against something. It wasn't knocking stuff over. It was flowing gracefully through a space. So when we think about energy flowing through our homes with that same grace, you sort of want it to like imagine the wind blowing through it. Well, the first energy center normally that would come up is going to be the career energy center. And that's only if your entryway, your door, is actually in the middle of your home. It would fall in the career center. If it falls to the left or right, it's going to be in different energy centers, but we're going to pretend like everybody's front door is at their career energy center, because that's how homes were built a long time ago, to have the most effective flow of chi, of energy. So this is a space that both the outside of it and the inside of it matter a lot. You don't want things blocking it. You would want air or wind, water to be able to flow in a way that was not interrupted. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I was thinking of boulders and mountains and stuff. I go back to that earth element of, if you saw this in nature, what would it really look like? How would nature have bent all these things to be in harmony together? So with career, you can start reading, because Kat does such a better job of it, reading from the notes.
Okay, so this is information about the career and life path energy center, which is at your front door. We're assuming your front door is in the center, at the center of your house. All right, this energy center.
I hyped her up, and now she's got.
Oh my gosh. This energy center shows how you appear to others, plus your image and physical body. This area is known as the mouth of chi, where energy begins. Mm-hmm. Relating to astrology, the sign of Aries correlates because it's the beginning of the zodiac journey. Mm-hmm. Life situations related to this energy center: identity, image, work, body, your life path, your path in life. All right. Focus on this energy.
So the way that we kind of
focus on this energy to get, okay. So the things that you would, if you wanted to improve, in these areas of your life, we're going to give you some examples of things. This is the energy center that you would focus on. So get a job, get a better job, enjoy your work, create more business for yourself, make more money in business, figure out what to do with your life. So if any of those things are high on your list of priorities, this would be the energy center that you would want to focus on.
Definitely.
So the very last thing that we did is we put together some ideas for suggestions for intentions or altars or mantras or request box. Jamie, do you want to explain what a request box is?
Yes, and the intention part too. So this is why it relates to witchcraft so well with Feng Shui, because each space that we're setting up, we want it to be the most harmonious, functional space according to that energy center. So we do that using our intention. That means that everything that you have in this energy center has an intention. It means something to you. It's usable. It has a purpose. It's not broken, old, dirty, waiting to be thrown out. These are all things that are put there with intention. So as witches, you can add an altar to this space that's specifically for your career. The alternative to that is if you don't want to put something that's out in the open, I use something called request box. So they are adorable little boxes, and whatever, you can get them in shapes that match the gua or colors that match the gua, but it should just be a decorative item for you to stick in little requests, literally written out on paper, like, dear universe, I want this, send me this. Obviously you should put it like a little bit more poetically maybe, but it's an intent that you're writing out and you're putting in that box. And just like a spell, just like an altar, every time you look at this little request box, you're going to remember what you're expecting from the universe. And we do that because every time we send that thought out into the universe, we're manifesting it back towards ourselves. So that's how the request box or an altar space can work. And like regular witchcraft altars for deities and stuff, whatever you want for your job. So if this is in career, so anything relating to your career, whether it is a new job, maybe you like update your resume and write hired across it at your place of business that you want to work. You use your altar like that, where you put things there that are significant for the change that you want to see. So in each of the 6 that we have tonight, that one was this one's going to be for career, but we added in a thing that you can do. Say your area is finally, and you don't need to decorate or move anything. This is something that you can add to the space to make it intentional, like you're using the energy of this space for something that you need or want.
So some ideas that you might use or come up with your own, what we're going to tell you might give you some ideas too, but something you might write in that request box would be, I love the work I do. I have the perfect job. I'm right where I want to be. Remember, you're writing your intention as if it is already so. You're writing these notes to the universe, these messages to the universe as if it's already so. I'll have the job of my dreams within 6 months. Make sure you're doing the work, because you can't, like, updating your resume and talking to people and
going to job interviews,
because we can't expect that things are going to knock on our door. The other thing I thought about was, like, when I did the one on my prosperity gua, when I asked for $500 to pay my taxes,
which
I had it in a money jar, or a decorative
container,
a money container. Yeah, it had a bunch of coins and stuff in it. And what I would do is periodically I would just take some money and go put it in there. So you might consider doing that if you have a request box. Remember to feed that. It's like feeding a spell.
Feeding it energy.
Yes.
Energy
and attention and thoughts.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that is career and life path energy center.
So if you move to the middle of your house, so wherever your door is, even if it's left or right, if you go to the very center of your house, that is going to be your health gua and the health energy center. And this health is like many things, not just our physical health, but like emotional health, spiritual health. And it's one of the least defined energy centers you'll find out there with stuff in it, because it touches every other energy center. So that means we talked about this merging or blurring effect, that the lines are not real. So each energy center can leak into this health energy center. And by leak, I mean it in a good way, not leak as in the energies are mixing and it's bad. It's that, next to health is also creativity and children. And we can see where you need to have a healthy body if you're looking to have children. You need to have a healthy mindset if you want to work with your knowledge energy center. Same thing with career. If you're not healthy mentally, how will you love your job? If you're not taken care of emotionally, how will you do well in your partnerships? So because health touches every single energy center, it's kind of this catch-all for its health, but then it's also any other life situations that you can't really put into any of the other 8 boxes. Box, loose term. So just remember that for health. If you have a situation that you need help with or work on, because like I don't have anything in there about law. I don't have anything in there with dealing with the law, or I was just thinking about like child custody cases or anything like that. We didn't write that in here at all. I don't, you could use your best judgment on where it would go, but it could go in the health center. That was the whole point of that very long speech, is that if you can't figure out where it goes in one of the other energy centers, put it in the health energy center. It'll be great.
So I think one way, as you were saying, it leaked into other areas, and they all all the energy centers sort of blend into each other. What the image that came to my mind when you were saying that was how when watercolors like bleed into from one color to the next. And that's just how the energy centers are. There's not like a defined straight line. You look at the gua, you look at the Bagua map and you see these straight lines, but that's, in reality, they just kind of blur and blend together. Think of it as watercolors blending one color to the next. So do you want me to read the areas of the health, or would you like to?
I would love it if you read the areas of the health.
All right.
You're so good at it.
All right. So this is health, and the center of your house, and it's all areas of health. This is the well from which all other energies are affected. The energy from here leaks or spills or spreads into all of the other energy centers. It's associated with physical, mental, spiritual health, as well as habits and patterns in your life. In relation to the zodiac, this energy center carries the vibes of Virgo and Pisces. Life situations related to this energy center are physical health, habits, emotional, service to others, jobs, stress from jobs, volunteer work, spiritual and mental health, rest and rejuvenation. If this is an energy center that you want to focus on, or here's some areas that if these things are important in your life and you're trying to bring them into your life, this is the area you would want to focus on. Creating optimal health, creating a sense of balance in your life, better any situation in your life that can't be placed in other energy centers. So as Jamie was saying, this is kind of a catch-all. For if you don't know where it goes, it can go here.
Yes.
And in suggestions for your intentions or mantras or request box, I live a balanced life. I age gracefully. I take care of my body. I am healthy and happy. I love my body. I love how I look.
So all things dealing with your health. These are just examples we came up with quickly. So choose one that really has meaning to you. Like
or come up with one. Yeah, right.
Well, that's what I meant by choosing, like you write your own. And nobody has to know that you've wrote it down. It can be very personal. This is you speaking to the creative source that all of us come from. That is who you're requesting this from. The who. There's not a who, there's the one. But I was going somewhere with that. I want to tell you guys that for mine, nobody would ever know. You know why? Because my coffee table, which is like a big rectangle coffee table, I actually flipped that son of a gun over and taped everything to the bottom of it. So it's there in the center of my house, but nobody can see it. So when we get into tips and tricks, we are going to go over ways that you can hide the elements that you want to bring in, or your request box, or like take things up underneath things, because you don't have to see the stuff that's decorative or that's a fix in order for it to be working. It's just in that center. It lives there. The energy sources know it's there. You can't hide from that. Just like because we store stuff away and we're like, oh, nobody knows that big box of unused clothes is there. Energy knows it's there. It knows it's stuck there. People might not know, but the universe knows.
Okay, so our next energy center is knowledge.
The knowledge and skills block.
Knowledge and skills block. So the knowledge energy center of your home is a representation of how far you expand your horizons through training, travel, and spiritual studies. This energy center shows how clear your mind is and your communication skills with others. Life situations around this energy center would include travel, speaking, publishing, philosophizing, research, teaching, learning, beliefs, and thoughts. If you want to make better grades, make better decisions, be more creative, be a better business person, attract opportunities, situations, and people to help in all areas of your life, tap into your inner wisdom, find your inner strength, or have better relationships, this is the energy center that you would want to focus on. Suggestions for mantras include, I am becoming the best version of myself. I seek to learn every day. I appreciate my experiences. I love who I've been and who I'm becoming.
That one's kind of personal to me. I wrote that in there because I've had to, for all my life, I've always had to appreciate the stuff you go through, like the real situations that you're like, why me? And when you come out on the other side and you go forward anyways, and you just keep like, what do they say, getting back on the horse or the bike or whatever. Every time you do that, back in the saddle, every time you do that, like take 5 minutes out to give yourself a hug, pat yourself on the back, buy yourself a new pair of shoes, whatever it is that you want to do to give yourself an award for getting through like the really tough stuff. Do that, because every time we get through something and we've learned and we're like continue to go through and face stuff again, that's us growing. Like, even though it's not a certificate from a college or it's not training or whatever, those are life lessons that you really can't experience any other way. Like, you're not going to be able to take a class on that. Like, we can talk about stressful situations all day, but until you go through it, you have no idea how you handle it, what it really feels like. So once you have gone through that, just know that you've like graduated one more level in the school of, I almost said hard knocks or something, but
it's the school of life.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
the journey of the soul.
We're here.
The journey of the soul.
Exactly. Yep.
So another thing I want to mention really quick is you can hear some things that overlap, right? So Kat just went through, this is the knowledge and skills gua, but it said, if you want to get more creative or tap into your creativity, well, you might be thinking there's a creativity gua for that. Why would I not just go focus on that one over there? Each gua can relate to another gua, because in order to get better with your skills and knowledge, having the creativity or the insight to go out and take a class or learn something new, those things go together. So curiosity and learning go together. So you could say creativity and learning would go together. So as you hear these things that have multiple places that they can be assigned or that you can work on them, it's just up to you on which gua works best for you. Because like we were talking about, somebody's love gua is in their closet.
Their walk-in closet.
So if they wanted to work on relationships, they could also do this in the family gua. Family gua is also about relationships. So when you hear things that are doubled up, that just means that you have a choice on where you start to focus your intention box or your altar that you want to do. Over to Kat.
All right. And our next gua is helpful people and travel. So this energy center of helpful people and travel, of helpful people, is where you can invite and ask for guidance from people on earth as well as the spiritual realm. You can attract people to help fulfill your needs. In relation to the zodiac, the energy center aligns with Aquarius. Life situations around this energy center include community, friends, hopes, and social causes. If you want to focus on, if any of these are of great interest to you, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to focus your fixes, or we haven't talked about that yet, have we?
We're doing fixes.
Fixes are when you go in and start cleaning things up and putting things in there that are intentional, but we're going to talk about that next week. So here's the life things that you might want to be working on.
Life situations.
So to be treated more fairly, to be in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
To bring forth teachers in your life, to have things run, to bring forth teachers in your life, to have things run more smoothly, stress less travel, less chaos, to better your intuition or divine guidance, to get help with projects, to not feel alone. So if any of those things are your focus, then this is helpful people and travel could be a place where you want to focus your attention.
I'm gonna tell a story really quick because I just realized something.
Okay.
If you guys download the chart that we have that shows you things to decorate with, things that you don't want to decorate
Oh
with.
yeah, we gotta still do that, don't we? Are we gonna
talk
share?
about it?
Oh,
Well, we
go
can
ahead.
either talk about it or share it, but it's in there for you guys to download. Easy to read, little Excel spreadsheet. But specifically in this gua, one of the things that we put in there is symbols of helpful people. So this could be religious figures, this could be spirit guides, this could be guardian angels. And so my story about this is my knowledge or my helpful people in travel energy center is in my 16-year-old son's room. And you guys can only imagine a 16-year-old boy in his room, and that I do not want unhelpful people coming into my path. So I'm always trying to update that space for him and keep it, in at least a little bit of a good order. I have a request box in there and everything. I was like, don't touch this. This is mine. I know it's in your room, but this is where my stuff goes. Well, he is on probation and he had to do a little stint because, he broke curfew. So while he was gone, I refreshed that space because we've been in our house 4 years now. So I repainted the walls, the baseboards, like I moved everything, I cleaned. This was a chance for me to really get in there and mess with stuff without him, Mom, get out of my room. Anyway, I was listening to a book that I didn't have a lot of interest in because I've never been one on angels. I don't know if you guys like angels, like the archangels, and there's angel cards. And I was really trying to understand and get to know this topic. So I was listening to a book while I was painting the walls. And what was interesting is that I figured out one of the angels' names that came through in my first meditation of Reiki, that it was Ariel. And I didn't even know there was an angel named Ariel. I've told this story where it was like this mermaid person with no face showed up. And her message to me was, it's deeper than it looks. And I was like, what? So as this lady is going through all these different archangels, like I had no idea there was an actual angel named Ariel. And I was in that room when I had the realization that that was what came through in the meditation. So just thought I'd share that with you. That was how it all happened for me. I don't get a lot of time in my helpful people in travel gua, but when I did, I had something really awesome happen. So, okay, that's my story. So hopefully when you guys are working through your stuff, if you have this insight when you're in that energy center, fixing it up, listen to what's going through your head, what thoughts come through. Maybe you'll receive a message also. I had no intention of receiving a message. I just wanted things clean, but it happened. And I was like, oh my God, it all clicks together. I get it. So, okay, on to creativity in children.
I was going to first finish up with suggestions for your intentions or request box.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay, so here's a couple things that might relate to what you're doing in your life. My trip will be amazing without any hiccups. My son has a tutor he needs. My boss is sympathetic to my situation. So those all revolve around helpful people
coming into your life,
other helpful people in situations. So when you think about writing your intentions and putting them in your request box or on your altar, however you choose to do that, those are some ideas for you.
I really do this for my travels, you guys. I always say, like, the ladies at the flight ladies are always going to be really nice. Like the check-in's going to go smoothly. TSA is going to be good. I really write those things down. No delays. I also make sure I get there, earlier on time. So there's that. That's
probably a good idea.
I mean, listen,
you don't want to work against what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
What you're trying to bring about.
Exactly.
All right. Our next gua is creativity and children. This center is all about creativity and fun. You can also improve relations with children, yours or other people's. The zodiac that correlates with the energy center, with this energy center, is Leo. Life situations, art, children, romance, joy, gambling, and playfulness. Gambling.
Gambling is a weird one for this, right?
Because it's a game. Is that why?
It's a game that can lead to detriment if it goes too far.
Yeah, I just always think of gambling. I just always have this negative connotation, probably because I had a boyfriend that gambled way too much before. Like he spent all his time in the casino, and that was kind of a problem. Anyway, let's see. All right, for this energy center, if you want to be able to conceive a child, find fulfillment with a hobby or a job, have more creative ideas for every situation, get unstuck in a project, improve relationships with children, yours or others, become comfortable showing the childlike side of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or to deter the aging process. This may be the energy center that you want to focus on. Suggestions for intentions, mantras, request box. I look forward to having beautiful, healthy children. I appreciate the playfulness of myself and my partner. I can tap into the well of universal creativity anytime. So remember, when you write your intentions, it's always as if they already exist. So that's why they're stated in that way. It's like as if they've already happened, as if they've already happened. All right. The last one that we're going to talk about tonight is family. This energy center is about healthy family connections, a comfortable home, even having enough money to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
The energy center correlates with the sign of Cancer. Life situations, family, home, ancestry, foundations, emotional well-being. If you want to feel more secure in all areas of your life, improve your sex life, build a stronger foundation, improve family relationships, bring harmony into family matters, create a family feeling with non-blood relatives, always having money to cover your bills, balance your emotions, improve physical and mental health by making better choices. This is the area where you want to focus your attention. So suggestions for your mantras, for your request box. My family relationships are nourishing and harmonious. I always have enough money to do the things I want to do. All right. So that was a lot of information to go through.
That's why it's all written out for you
And
guys.
you don't have to, you don't have to remember it all. I hope that as you listen to it, you thought about areas of your life where you'd like to see some changes.
Yeah.
And we only heard from Monica about homework last week. So since we don't have homework for you this week, but if you did not get to it last week, let's talk about, in case you want a reminder, identify your energy center spaces, like what's where, like where's your what room is your love gua in, and so on. Identify your messiest energy center with the most stored or unused items. And I think the most important is, at least for me anyway, is where do you want to make a change?
Yeah, where are the changes? Well, I think that's most important because you have 9 energy centers that you could be looking at and going like, where do I start?
It can feel overwhelming if you try to do it all at once.
Yeah, no, it is. It's not meant to be done all at once. It's meant to be done as you work through situations that you're really trying to conquer or change. And that's our suggestion, is always to start with what needs the most immediate attention for you. Like whatever is your highest priority for change, start there. And then once you've done fixes or you've cleared things out and you're kind of in that waiting game, you can go to your next most important energy center and say, all right, well, my relationship is pretty good, but it could be better. It could always be better. For me, I always go back to my love and marriage energy center, because I never want it to go away. The way that it is now, like I really feel like I have a very perfect relationship, and like the person that's really meant for me, I don't ever want that to go away. I don't ever want there to be like weird, miscommunications or anything. So I'm always doing things, or at least I'm keeping an eye on what our room looks like, because it happens to be our master bedroom, which the guy who built my house, I swear he knew Feng Shui. He had to, because he built it in a way that it really, really works. So with the master bedroom, sometimes the places that we live in the most, our bedroom, our kitchen, if it's your living room or your front door area where you drop everything, those are the places where life situations can start to become chaotic or stuck, or like the miscommunication stuff. If those things are going on in different areas, go to that energy center, assess what's going on. Like, all right, family, you know what? No more dropping your dirty shoes and bags and coats at the front door. Like, we're going to make a place for it. It's going to be neat or stacked or put away, and then see how things improve. That's kind of what the fixes are about. I mean, the first thing is you don't need to go out and buy anything. Just make sure things are clean, not broken, and stuff that you actually want, not just stuff sitting around that you don't need or want.
There are some things though that you want to remove in certain areas. So do you want to share the?
Oh yeah, you want to do a screen share?
Yeah, let's do a screen share.
Second time for a screen share, guys. Last time we had a hard time.
Hold on a second.
I should count it. See how
share
good
screen.
Can we do it in 15 seconds or less?
Wait.
I put pressure on Kat now. She's gonna mess up.
Multiple. Well, which one is it? More.
What?
Isn't it this one right here?
Yes.
Share.
Screen share.
Oh,
But
there
it's
we
when
go.
choose this. That's what was important.
Oh, okay. All right. Hang on a second. I got to make sure that I have that up then. That's the deal.
That's where we're learning.
Yeah.
It's already shared, right?
Okay. All
so
right.
now that's an active screen.
Okay.
So when we're in Zoom and we go to the share.
All right. So now we can see it. Okay.
Yes. All right,
share.
perfect.
All right. So
That wasn't
this
too bad.
document, which I made pretty just tonight, I'm so proud of myself because, Google Docs is not the same thing as Excel. But this is the document that's available to you from the meetup. And I think I don't know where to make this go, Jay.
You can make it little. That guy. Yeah.
This
the
guy?
little guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't see you guys, but I know you're there. So I think we're not going to go through every one of these columns. What we're going to focus on is these last two right here is decorative and decorative things,
eliminate
things that you can bring into the space, which is what we're calling decorative, and then things that you don't want in the space.
Yeah.
So you want to talk through this?
I mean, you guys, it's really just reading the list, but in the career area, mirrors, glass, water, fountains. So the mirrors and glass are ways to stir up energy. So anywhere where you have a lot of glass or mirrors, you're already stirring up energy, no matter if it, technically it's intentional, even if it's subconscious, but it's already doing that thing.
I've always had
a lot of mirrors.
I've always had a lot of mirrors. I've always loved mirrors. And I just hung one in my knowledge squad tonight.
Hey, she's ready to stir up that energy for knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So things you want to eliminate, and this really makes sense when you think about the space. Each space, if you really think about it in terms of like, if I had to walk into this space and know what my life was going to be like in my family area, what does this space say about it? So eliminating from your career area would definitely be pictures of things that you would never want to do in your life. And when we wrote this, I was saying to Kat, like, what if you had a mountain picture, but you're never going to climb a mountain? You don't want anything to do with mountains. That's not where you want to live.
Or you had a picture of people rowing, but you're like, I have zero interest in rowing.
Yeah. I mean,
or you got one of those goal pictures and the guy's like climbing Mount Everest. And you're like, yeah, I'm never going to do that. You don't really
make it more intentional. Put a picture in there of something that you do want to accomplish or that you do want to do. And it doesn't just have to be with career specifically. Remember, this is also life path. So it can correlate with things that you want to do as your life path, which eventually turn into a career, hopefully. So next would be
wait. Make
what?
sure you say anything blocking your door.
Yeah.
Make sure nothing's blocking your door.
That's blocking the energy of things coming into your life. And that's for all of the energy centers. So if you have stuff in front of your door, it's harder for you to invite people into your life through the helpful people gua. It's more difficult for you to have good relationships in your love and marriage gua or in your family gua. Same with, we haven't talked about fame and prosperity yet, but those two are pretty big on people's lists as far as like fame and recognition, and then also prosperity and wealth. All that gets blocked if anything is in front of your door. So whether that's plants, junk, something broken. I finally took off
a broken screen door.
I took that off like last year though.
She had a kind of she had an original screen door.
It was like 30 years old.
Yeah, it was wood. I liked it.
I love the style, but it was very not functional. It slammed really hard and loud. Like the whole neighborhood heard the door slam.
And it really needed to be painted.
My front door still needs to be painted.
I know what's going on there. I'm not going to say a thing.
I kind of like the old rusty sea salt look. I don't know. It's intentional.
Oh, okay.
It's clean. It's clean,
clean,
but not well painted.
It is clean. Okay.
So for health, we're looking at things that are made from the earth, funny stuff because, laughter is really good medicine.
Oh my
Patch
gosh,
Adams,
the
anybody?
best.
Yes.
The best.
Sun and stars would be a sign of health, or like this would be spiritual health. You've got triangular and pointy items. So health can also be like fire, blood, like the warming of our spirit, our soul. So things to remove then would be green objects. And we did put something in here about plants. So you can have plants in this area, but you don't want anything that's like a tree because of if you go over to the destructive cycle items, anything that's wood and green would take away from the energy of the earth. And that is because if you have a tree in the ground, what is it doing? It's pulling nutrients from the earth, right? So this all relates back to actual elements. That's why you wouldn't want anything that's, wood and green and pulling away from that earth element. So I don't know if we should read through the whole thing, but the list is here. There's a lot of good stuff. Do you want to read through it?
Well, I feel like, yeah, because, we gave him all these other ideas. So yes,
Okay.
for decorative. So remember,
Decorative
we're
stuff.
talking about things you could put into your space and things you should take out of your space. So when we get down to skills and knowledge, the things you can add to that space are books, blue and light items, symbols of mentors and wise people, meditation items, symbols of skills and knowledge that you want to have. The things that you want to eliminate from that space are drugs, alcohol, anything you smoke, and remove any unwise symbols, such as a poster of the movie Dumb and Dumber.
I'm like unwise symbols.
I don't know what unwise symbols would be.
Again, 16-year-old boys room, maybe. I'm not sure if that happens to be a thing.
Maybe it's, I don't mean, it could be anything. Whatever.
It's just, basically you want this to be a representation of the things that are able to be going on in your head, like your thoughts and your patterns of knowledge and learning. So anything that's stunting that's why alcohol should be removed. But for statues and stuff, this is actually where people put little Buddhas and things. And
yeah,
I mean, anybody that you feel associated with deeper knowledge or wisdom. Yeah.
I just thought of the Dalai Lama.
The Dalai Lama.
Okay, so in helpful people, things you might add to the space, silver containers, gray items, symbols of helpful beings like angels.
There's the angel thing you guys are talking
religious
about.
Objects, bells, and places like pictures of places and things like that. Like I've got a map. I got an angel in my helpful people. I did all that. That was very intentional.
It was very good. In my son's room, I got a really big picture it's a black and white picture of the China Wall. So for travel, and then on the other side, I have a picture of New York City. So I really hope that I know he wants to travel anyway. So it's good that fits with his like decor, if you can even call it that. But that's how I added that element of like travel and distant places.
Things to take out of this area: junk, trash cans, and reminders of being broke or bad times. And when it comes to junk, really, that's kind of an overall, like, start getting rid of junk and things that you don't use. That's one way you can just one way you can just improve your space immediately, is to just start cleaning out.
There's the three: dirty, broken, useless, or stored and don't need it.
And it's hard to do that sometimes because it takes work. It's taken me 2 years to get to my garage. And now that I'm so happy. I just want to go stand out there and look at it. All right. So creativity in children, things that you can add in this area: toys, televisions, games, candy, music, hobbies and crafts, symbols of creativity or children. Things to remove or not have in this space: hazardous material, including candles, because this is an area where you do not want any kind of fire, red or pointed items, or any kind of fire element, and anything red or pointy. In your family gua, things you can add: anything made from wood, tree-like plants, and water elements. Things to remove or eliminate: guns, plants that aren't doing well, like, half-dead plants. So get rid of those. All right, you guys.
It was wonderful tonight.
Thank you for the laughs.
Yes. We'll see you all next week.
All
Have
right.
a wonderful week.
Oh,
Bye.
yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.